ESPN 1420, ESPN1420.com. Let's welcome back to the program now a Lafayette native, Northside High grad, two-time U.S. Olympian, MMA fighter for UFC, headlining UFC 187 this Saturday on pay-per-view for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship when he faces Anthony Rumble Johnson. Daniel Cormier once again joins us here on the Great Scott Show in his hometown of Lafayette. DC, how you feeling?
I feel good, man. I'm ready to go. I'm excited.
As you were preparing for your bout with Ryan Bader's scheduled to take place in New Orleans, when you heard that Jon Jones was going to have to drop the championship due to his continuing legal troubles, what was the first thing that popped in your head?
Well, after being a decent human being and wondering how this lady was doing and her kid, I was like, there's no way this guy's going to be able to fight. There's no way that in 3 weeks Jon Jones is going to walk to the Octagon and fight in the UFC. So maybe I'll get a chance to fight if there's going to be a belt on the line. And it just so happens that there is.
Speaking of Jones, what did you learn from your fight against him back in January?
That I have to stay on task for 25 minutes, man. If I'm going to be a champion and beat the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world, you cannot take time off in the cage. You can't let your mind stray. You've got to be in there for 25 minutes, constantly working towards trying to accomplish your goal. Wasn't easy, but it also showed me that I can compete against the best guys in the world, even. And if I continue to work hard, continue to dedicate myself to this goal, I can get the job done.
Last question on Jones. Your initial thought when you found out after the fight that he had tested positive for cocaine about a month prior?
Couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that going into a fight of that magnitude, he would actually be doing things like that, recreational drugs. I've said it time and time again, though, man. When that stuff gets a hold of you, that's as tough as any opponent as you're ever going to have in your life. And John's got a long battle ahead of himself.
You got a battle this Saturday night against Anthony Johnson. How does Rumble pose different challenges than Jones did?
He hits much, much harder. Jones is not the guy that you think of punching power. But Anthony Johnson is punching power times 50. Dude has more power than maybe anyone the UFC's ever seen. Very fast, very explosive, very confident, and believes in his power like nobody else. So that's the problem when it comes to Rumble. Big power, hard punches, and very accurate with his techniques.
Daniel Cormier, our guest. He's fighting Anthony Johnson Saturday night, UFC 187, May 23rd on pay-per-view. And DC and Johnson headline it for the light heavyweight championship. You've questioned Johnson's heart before. What did he do to lead you to that criticism?
Well, this was old. This is older stuff. Where I got my thoughts from. I said in the Koscheck fight, Josh was able to submit him after going very even with him the moment he got him into danger. In the Belfort fight, Vitor was able to submit him the moment he got him into danger. That's where I got that from. I know it's a long time ago, but it's still truth. Now, everything I say it with an idea that leads to something. What I was meaning was, if there is a person inside of Anthony behind all the muscle that still doesn't really know how to deal with adversity well, I'll go try and find that guy. How will he respond when he's dealt adversity? Does he revert back to the guy in the Koscheck fight and the Belfort fight? Or is there a new person that has overtaken that guy that starts to question himself whenever stuff gets tough? That's all I meant. But it's the truth. I wasn't knocking Anthony Johnson. I wasn't questioning his heart. I was just saying, I believe that little guy in there that says, Anthony, there's a way out of this. All you have to do is either get submitted or get knocked out. I believe that little guy is still in there. That's all I was saying.
In a sport, like MMA, you fight at the highest level, UFC, you're headlining a pay-per-view. How often in your career does a quote sort of get misinterpreted or taken out of hand, taken out of context?
It happens all the time because you say stuff talking and it's up to the person to actually transcribe it and write it into an article. That is not even if they write it word for word, it's left to interpretation. The people are going to interpret it the way they want to. So it doesn't really matter. And I mean, how many times are your words taken out of context, and how many times do people just interpret it the way they want? I think more times than not, people just decide what they're reading and what they hear. It's not even what you said.
Well, DC, if you ever want to get something off your chest or clear anything, you always, of course, have an open phone line here at ESPN1420 and .com. Did your style of training or preparation change when you went from preparing for that June 6th bout with Bader to suddenly you're fighting for the strap on May 23rd against Johnson? Like, did you worry about the weight drop that was going to be necessary in your style of training for the bout?
You know what, man? I didn't worry too much because Bader also hits very hard, and Bader can wrestle just like Anthony can. So that didn't change. What changed was the championship, and there's just a little something extra, and I noticed it in my training. I'm okay with doing more, just knowing that there's a belt on the line. Like, I was training hard for Bader, but like once the belt's on the line, it's like you're okay to do even more than you were doing before. And because the time was so short, I couldn't overdo it as I did in the Jones training camp, So, yeah, it's just that belt, man. That belt just means so much more when you think about it.
And once you have that belt, the responsibility of carrying it, kind of as you noted earlier about some of the issues Jones has had, you certainly don't take that responsibility, and you sure as hell don't take this opportunity Saturday night lightly.
Not at all, man. If I win this belt on Saturday, when I win this belt, I'm going to be a champion that you guys in Lafayette can be proud to say that I'm from there. I'm from Louisiana, man. We are raised in a way to show respect. We are raised in a way to treat people nice. I mean, even when I was there with Bader, the people in Louisiana are being too nice to Bader. I'm like, guys, this guy's the enemy. Stop being so nice to this dude. He's coming to fight me. I'm the hometown guy. But it's like we're raised with respect. And I'll carry that strap in the way a champion should, man. People can be proud of the way that of the champion I would be for the UFC.
I have no doubt. A few more for you, DC. Do you see yourself in the future possibly lobbying for another Louisiana card?
Yes, and that's still the case, man. We got to fill up this arena on June 6th because last time the UFC went, they went 2011, and they didn't do very well in terms of tickets. We need to fill up the arena and make sure people go out and watch so that the UFC feels like New Orleans and Louisiana is a viable market to go and hold fights. So get in the arena, scream loud. I know I'll be there. I mean, I may not be fighting, but I'll be in the arena cheering Dustin Poirier, another Lafayette guy, and Sean Jordan from Baton Rouge, and everybody else from Louisiana that's going to be fighting that night.
Get out there and represent all the Cajuns listening, all the Louisiana natives listening, wherever you are. If you're in the state, get to New Orleans on June 6th. Get the pay-per-view this Saturday night, UFC 187, as DC headlines it. What can viewers expect when they watch the main event this Saturday night?
They can expect me to do exactly what I did to Jones, man. Go forward, pressure him, get in his face, try and knock him out, try and take him down, and just try to make Anthony Johnson fight in situations that he's not comfortable. Make him uncomfortable, make him question himself, and hopefully he'll fall down and let me choke him out like he did with some of these other guys he's fought.
Last time we chatted, you mentioned Boudin. I mean, I didn't plan on talking food, DC, but did you get some Boudin when you were down here in the boot?
I didn't get any Boudin because it was in New Orleans. If you know New Orleans, Boudin is a little different than having it from Lafayette.
You're right.
But I did order some from Don's Specialty Meats online, and it came directly to my house. Boudin, fresh sausage, rice dressing mix, chicken and sausage gumbo from Préjean's. It's all waiting in my fridge when I get back because by the time I got it, I was already starting training camp.
Nice celebratory meal after Saturday night. I can sense it. Lastly, DC, I know you're a father. I just had my first. He'll be 3 weeks old this Saturday when he sits on my lap as I watch UFC 187. Any fatherly advice?
Yes. Love your kids. Honor your kids. Raise them in the way that you want them to grow with respect with loyalty, with love, and with care. But more importantly, love your wife and make her feel like the queen that she is, because at the end of the day, she's going to form and shape your kid into the person that he's going to be later on in life. There is nothing more important than family. And in family, we look in the mirror every day and realize that they are a reflection of us. So if your kids turn out bad, know that it's because you aren't doing what you're supposed to do. Love that boy, man. Kiss him a lot, because in a couple years, he will not allow you to kiss him anymore.
I plan on it. I'll make sure I do that. We'll be supporting you on Saturday night, my friend. Daniel Cormier facing Anthony Rumble Johnson this Saturday night, UFC 187 on pay-per-view. We look forward to seeing you take home the strap, DC. All the best, continued success, and let's chat again in the future.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
You got it.